perfection. I'ma give you all my affection. Every touch becomes infectious. Let's make out in this Lexus. There's no other love just like this. I like with you, I wonder, can we become love's persona? You'll always be the one that I wanna come home to, boy. Let me love you and show you how special you are. I wanna be your baby. You'll always be my baby. Tell me what you want now. Sing it to the world. Baby, give me time. I'ma be your girl.
And I want to say this to all of you that sat down and took me. Englishman, get up! It is not time to sit down and tuck the in. It is time to stand up against a system that fundamentally hates you. And I will say this to all of the elite, to everybody that seeks to replace us. England will live, Britain will live, because the British people live. And we have the heart of Britain inside of us. And as long as the heart of Britain beats, Britain will live!
Once upon a time, somebody ran away, saying fast as I can. I got to go, I got to go. Once upon a time, we fell apart. You're holding in your hands the two halves of my heart. Oh, oh, oh.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. Don't call it a warning. This is a war.
It's a parasite. Got a feeling in your stomach cause you know that it's coming for you. Leave your flowers and grieve. Don't forget what I told you. When we forget the infection, will we remember the lesson? It's the suspense that they kill you. Something else will.
Hugh Anthony. No offense to the GOAT, my GOAT, Hugh Anthony.
Play hard,
want to say the weather's getting better. It's nice and warm. You know what? I am sweating like a fat bitch in a chippy right now because it's extremely warm in my box of a room. But you know what keeps me cool? When I'm sweating my ass off, doing a live show with 5 different lights beaming on me, a nice cold mug of black currant juice in a Prioritise Britain mug. Nothing beats a nice cold mug of black currant juice in a Prioritise Britain mug. And if you want your own Prioritise Britain mug, you can go and get one on the website www.prioritisebritain.co.uk. In fact, drinking this will send you straight to Agartha. The Prioritise Britain mugs, they send you straight to Agartha. So grab yourself one of those. I'm just gonna...
You come from a land down under, where women glow and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? Better run, better take cover.
We have had enough. This is our country. You are here as guests. You will be leaving as guests.
For the King and St. George!
When the light fades, there's a high place that I go. In the night state, there's a heaven that I know. If you see me dreaming, don't wake me up. If you see me dreaming, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. When the light fades, there's a high place that I go. In the night state, there's a heaven that I know. If you see me dreaming, don't wake me up. If you see me dreaming, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me up. Don't wake me up.
Wait. Go back one.
What do you say?
Bring his face up. Full screen.
His glasses.
There's a reflection.
That's the Nuevita's baseball team. That's their logo.
And he's talking to whoever's wearing that jacket.
We may have a witness.
To both shootings.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Prioritise Britain. I'm your host, Hugh Anthony, and we have a good show for you tonight. Loads has happened since the weekend. I've been away all weekend. I was enjoying my nice sabbatical, my nice time away back in my homogenous birthplace of Grimsby. It's a shithole, but it's my shithole. So I've been away all weekend, but there's been a swarm of news being thrown at me. Reform policies, infighting at reform, the whole Jason ARDAY thing, which we're going to be going over tonight. Just everything has been going off. Everything has been absolutely mental. So we have a load to talk about this week. We're going to get into the reform thing tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, of course, the Jason ARDAY case, where he killed himself last Friday. You guys pointed it out to me on the show. You were like, guys, Jason ARDAY is dead. And I went, who? I was like, who? And then I realized, I went, hold on a minute. Oh, you're on about the black guy that frauded his way into Cambridge. So we're talking about that tonight. Lots to go over regarding it. People are a little bit all over the place when it comes to it. Some people on the left are saying, well, it's the right's fault. Some people on the right saying, well, it's the left's fault. I'd not even heard about him, and then it shut up. But listen, to me, he was just another black guy, all right? We have a lot of them here in Britain. You can't blame me. You can't blame me for not knowing, all right? How many black guys get given roles in academia or get given like a role in acting? Who was the black guy that got given the role of Doctor Who? I don't know who he is. I just know that that's DEI. They've got to feel good about it. They've got to feel good. We got to meet those quotas. We got to have the black guy. We need that black guy. If we don't have the black guy, well, then we're failing. Zuma historian loves the black guys, so he would know. He would know. I wouldn't be surprised if Zuma wrote some of the DEI policy, which he's not going to be happy for saying that, but it's so true. It's so true. But everyone needs the black guy, right? As Zuma said, he gets the things with the Africans. So does the entirety of the media. So does the entirety of the media. So does our entire academia. So does our legislation. They get the black thing. They get the black thing. So we'll be talking about that. I'll be analyzing the situation. People on the left are saying it's the right's fault. People on the right are saying it's the media's fault and it's Jason's fault and DEI's fault. I think it's a bit more nuanced to that. I think it's a little bit of everything. The guy, okay, listen, right? All I'm going to say is the guy spent his career criticizing people, attacking people, slamming down anyone that disagreed with him, having all of these big outcries. And the second he gets criticized himself, the second he gets scrutinized, kills himself. All I'm saying, right, this is my genuine advice for anybody thinking about getting into any form of public position or making a media presence for themselves. If you cannot handle the fire, stay out of the kitchen. If you're going to end up killing yourself, maybe not your best idea to step into an arena which is not very nice. All right? Look, I think suicide is an immoral thing to do. I think it's a very selfish thing to do. I don't have sympathy for the action of suicide. I have sympathy that the man is dead and he's left 2 kids behind and a partner behind. That's what I have sympathy for. I think that if you commit suicide, you're a fucking loser. That's my honest opinion. I think that if you kill yourself, you are a fucking loser. You are gifted a life by God. And if you remove that life for your own selfish reasons, you are a loser. You do not have the spirit to carry on in humanity if that's what you choose to do. Look, I mean, if you dig yourself into a hole and your way to get out of the hole is to hang yourself, well, why did you even dig a hole in the first place? Why did you not just think a little bit? If you're going to dig a hole, at least have the ability to hold your own actions to account or double down. I'm not saying if you're going to go on a massive, like, serial psychopathic lying spree and then be like, well, I'm going to stick by it. What I am saying is if you get into a bad situation, now I'm not applying this to Jason, but I'm saying to anyone in general, if you get into a bad situation and your response is suicide, you're a fucking loser. If you get into a bad situation, your response should be to overcome that situation. Even if you're depressed, even if you feel down in the moment, even if you don't see a way out, you build a way out. There's always a way out with these things. And I see this so often. You wonder why suicide rates are so high. Because people just give up. People don't think there is a way out. They think it's too much. I can't deal with it. Of course you can. You were given a life by God to deal with it. You were given a life by God to deal with the stress, to deal with the struggle, to overcome the situations, to live and learn. Whatever happened to living and learning? Instead, you're going to what? Noose yourself? It's pathetic. It's the most retarded loser activity I could ever consider. The most loser activity is killing yourself. If you kill yourself, you should never have been born in the first place. You were gifted a life and you threw it away. I have no respect for anybody that does that. And I've known some people in my life who have done that. And I just think, what the fuck is wrong with you? I had a guy, I'll tell you this story. I'm not really that arsed. I had a guy who, we went to primary school together. We didn't get on very much in primary school. And I'm not going to expose who he is because you could easily go find the information. I'm not going to throw out news articles at you. But he basically was going to be a footballer. And he was kicked out of being a footballer. So his response was to kill himself. Now, there is more information that's behind the scenes and private. I'm not getting into all of that. But I saw that story a few years back, and I was talking to my friend, and I just went, what is wrong with people? When one door closes, you go and open another one. It's not going to open for you. You have to go and open it. You have to go find the door. But, I mean, I stand by this principle. There is no such thing as rejection. When you get rejected, I've been rejected in my life. Everyone's gone through this idea of rejection. When you get rejected from a situation, say it's Jason ARDAY being kicked out of Cambridge. Say it's me being removed from my house. Say it's this person I used to know being kicked from this football club. That is not rejection. That is redirection. You have to redirect where you want to take your life when it comes to a halt in a certain area. If your response to rejection is not to redirection, but to roping, then you're pathetic and you're a fucking loser, because you're not only leaving behind your own life, you're leaving behind anybody that's involved with you. Your friends, your family, anyone that cares for you. Even if, like, say if you're a social figure and you've got a platform, then you've got, what? Fans as well. I'm sure Jason, well, obviously we've seen that people have come out defending him. But what you do by killing yourself is put that pressure on them. You put that pressure of your grief and your struggle onto them with a grief that they cannot overcome, because death is permanent. Your bad situation, your unlucky streak, your slight amount of annoyance with the world and unfairness and inequality is temporary. It does not last. There may be trails that linger behind you for the rest of your life, but it is not permanent. You will not always be in those situations. Suicide is a quick solution to a limited problem. The guy I know that killed himself, he was, what, 16 years old, 17 years old when he did it? And I thought, hold on a minute. You've just wasted the entirety of your life for a short-term solution. The short-term solution is killing himself. And then, now his family is still probably grieving of it all these years later. His friends are probably grieving of it all these years later. And who knows, he could have gone on to be a footballer anyway. But because he rejected to try and find a path forwards, and he killed himself instead, that path was instantly closed off. That is why I say there is no such thing as rejection. It's redirection. Go down a different path. Find something else. Life has so many opportunities. You can create your own opportunities. It's not setting a boundary. You are the boundary. Whatever you want to achieve is the boundary to what you can achieve. Whatever you want to do exists in here. That's it. This is the only thing stopping you. People in your life are going to tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you're going to have bad situations. People are going to try and cut you down. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because these people are not going to be there for your entire life. You know who is going to be there for your entire life? Your family. And if you kill yourself, then you're still going to be there for their entire life, but you're going to be in their heart. You are going to cause them grief over your selfish actions of being unable, genuinely unable, to prosper forwards. So I know this person says, thank you, Postboy, who's never faced any adversity in your life. Well, I'll put it like this. My best friend died when I was 18. I was kicked out of my house last year. I had to move across the country to then carry on. I have been fired from my job for this. I lost all of my friends. I was on financial difficulty and built myself up from the ground. I have still continued to strive forward. I receive death threats on a weekly basis, which I just have to deal with. I've been confronted in public multiple times about me having an opinion to the point where they threaten violence on me. Into the point which none of you know about this, I had a knife pulled on me in London, never faced any adversary. I've been through hell and back, but I still have carried on because that's what matters. But you guys wouldn't know that because you don't live those lives. Because you see what I put on. I put on a smiley face, I do a show, I tell funny jokes, I give you the news, I analyze situations. I have an accent. You know why I have an accent? As a kid, I was a social hobbit. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see people. I'm not a big social guy. So I played Overwatch with kids from Cambridge for 6 years of my life. So, but it doesn't matter. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I don't believe in victim mentality. People that kill themselves believe in victim mentality. There is no victim mentality. There is no, I'm not a victim to anything. I'm a product of life. That's it. People that kill themselves are victimhood seekers. They just want some attention. They want people to look after them. Who cares? Do it yourself. Get up. Get up. Do it yourself. Who gives a shit? You're not a victim. You're not a victim to anything but your own mentality. You're not a victim to anything but your own boundaries. Get up. Get off your ass. It doesn't matter. All right? It doesn't matter. Just do something. But they don't. But they don't. So that's what I'm saying. You are not a victim. Life is unfair. Deal with it. Deal with it. All right? And like, look, I've seen on social, even right now, I'm just receiving notification after notification after notification, and they're all about the exact same thing, which is this Jason Ardeal guy. Who cares? He took his own life. He made a selfish decision. That's not the conversation anymore. Nobody, and I mean this nicely, nobody should be paying him attention. His family are going to grieve about it, obviously, because that's the situation we find ourselves in. That's the situation they're going to find themselves in. But it's not up to us to grieve about these situations because it has absolutely nothing to do with us. And that's what I'm trying to describe to people. Just get on with it, all right? If you're in a bad time, if any of my viewers are in a bad time right now, all I'm going to say, shut the fuck up, get on with it, grow a pair of balls, stand up on your own beliefs, stand up on your own, intuition, and just get on with it. Don't even dare think about suicide. I've had all these people that have come to me, I'm struggling, I see no way out. Mary, you're a legend, by the way. But that's what I'm saying. Just get up. Just do something. Anything, please. But people don't. Also, I just want to make that clear. I was not trauma dumping. I don't give a shit about all of that. Is already public info, apart from the knife thing. But that wasn't really that interesting. They tried to nick my phone. That was all already public information. I'm not asked about that. I'm just making a point that what people see here, what you see presented, and I notice this all the time, people making assumptions on social media. I always read the comments and they're like making assumptions about my life. And it's like, hold on, where'd you get that from? It's like, what? It's like, hold on a minute, but all that's already public information because I just don't care. I'm like, yeah, here you go. You know why I say that? Because I'm real. I don't ask for your sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. I couldn't give a shit if you like me or dislike me. But I know what dealing with situations is. And it's not killing yourself. Killing yourself is pathetic. So we'll get into all of that. I just wanted to rant about the killing yourself thing because it's been pissing me off. It has been pissing me off. Seeing everybody being like, you guys, it was a lynching. It was a public lynching. Shut the fuck up. He killed himself because he's a selfish bastard. All right? Simple as. Simple as. Anyway, before we get into that, which we will get into in a moment, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss whenever I go live. We are live Monday to Friday, 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on YouTube, X, and Rumble. You can head over to the shop at prioritisebritain.shop/shop. It is the first link in the description. You can go pick yourself up some merch. I have some of the merch coming tomorrow, so I'll show it off tomorrow as well. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We got a quarter zip. I love a quarter zip. We've got a quarter zip coming, so I'll show you the new logo design as well. We've been hard at work behind the scenes. I said I had a sabbatical over the weekend. There was no sabbatical. I was still working. My nan said this to me. I went to go see my grandparents. If you will know this, if you're in the Telegram or the Discord, join the Telegram, the Discord. First link on the pinned comment. I was with my nan and she went, "Do you ever stop looking at that phone?" I said, "Nan, listen." I said, a nigger's got to work, right? I can't be cashing out on my food stamps constantly. I've got to work. So, but my nan was it was good to see my. You know what? It's what I'll say as well. This kind of links to the suicide thing. It's like, look, I love seeing my nan. That is a superpower. It really is. If you think about it. People say superpowers aren't real. Well, of course they are. Because your presence can change somebody's entire week. I went to see my nan over the weekend, and she's probably going to be happy for the next week. And I'm glad I could do that. I could go and see my nan. We had a wonderful weekend. My granddad was there as well. Went on walks. It was very chilled. Had conversation. Spoke to my nan about politics. She was asking me questions. I explained African time to my nan, Sam. But I don't think she'd ever want to come on the show. I don't really think it's her thing. Maybe one day I can convince her just to call in. I'd be like, Nan, everybody wants to see the bass Nan. Everybody wants to hear from the bass Nan. But that's what I mean. It's a superpower. One day I'm not going to get to do that. You know what I mean? That's how life is. One day I'm not going to get to do that. And I can go do that right now. That is a superpower. It is a superpower that I can go out of my way to go and see one of my loved ones and spend time with them. So, I mean, I guess we're being a bit soppy today. What I would say to all of you is, look, pick up the phone. Ring up somebody that you love and just talk to them, all right? I feel like people don't do this anymore. Everyone's so caught up with everything, but I'm just like, go and see people that you care about. That is life. I've been thinking about us a lot since the Jason ARDAY thing. I'm just like, I can't stand people wasting the time that they get. So, yeah. Actually, I'll tell you this. We were this is going to link into another story. We were walking down in Cleethorpes. You've got like the prom. We call it the prom. And it's a very homogenous place, Grimsby. Down up in Grimsby, you've got two sides. You've got like the one towards Cleethorpes, that's the homogenous area. Then up towards actual Grimsby near the pier. That's where you get, we call them incomers. That's what you call a foreigner, because they are incoming for the day. They usually go to the beach for the day. So you call them incomers. You go up the beach and you've got all these incomers. And if any of you actually have been here for a while, you'll be able to find a video, I think it's from last year, where I recorded an in-person video in Grimsby, and we were walking down the beach, and there is this Muslim woman on the beach with a hookah. So I recorded it, and I was like, look at this woman with a hookah. Anyway, we got into an argument. Me and this woman got into an argument, and I was like, this is cultural enrichment, right? It's Muslim women in hijabs smoking a hookah in the middle of winter on a beach. That's what it is. Anyway, but we're walking down the prom in Cleethorpes towards the holiday homes. They've got summer homes. I don't know why I'd want to buy one there, but some people do. And it was so nice and peaceful. Quiet, white families, walking dogs. Good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Blah, blah. You know, the nice, civilized gesture that we do as British people. And then I get to the end. And then I get to the end of the walk. And I turn to my nan, and she looks at me, and I go, they're black. I go, they're black. And she goes, oh, how can you tell? My nan's got bad eyesight. And I was like, I can see. And we were like a solid 50 feet away. I got good eyesight. And we get closer, and all the white people are like, you know, walking normally. And this black family is taking up the entire pathway, screaming, shouting. Kids are all over the place. They can't control them. Talking in their native tongue, but the kids are talking in a British accent. I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? And we will try to walk past. And we were at least like 10 feet away from them. And we could hear everything. It was so loud. And it had been a nice, scenic, peaceful walk before that. And I just said to my nan, I went, it's just not acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, we're not asking for a lot. Just shut the fuck up. Just be chill. You don't need to act like that. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't have a zoo in Grimsby. You don't need to bring one here. Just chill the fuck out. I don't need to hear you from across the prom. I don't need to have you screaming in my ear. I don't need to have your kids screaming and running around at my feet. It's like, they had one of the kids on a leash. I was thinking, what? But I was like, what are we doing? And I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, can we just like, that's just not the behavior we should be pushing out. That's not the behavior we are. You don't need to make everybody else's day irritable because your kids are on a leash and screaming and throwing things at each other and taking up the entire path. And look, just chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? We just want a bit of civility, a little bit of kindness. And I'm not saying it's every single one of them. There's some nice people. One of my good friends, you might remember the African guy that got deported from America by ICE because he was an illegal, and now he's in Britain. I'm good friends with him in real life. We get on quite well. I've been for a drink with him. Got married the other week. Congratulations to you. I'm not going to expose your name, but congratulations to you. You know who I'm talking about. Not all of them are like that. Very civilized guy. But it's the 90%, all right? It's the 90%. So my weekend in Grimsby was nice. It was peaceful. But then, this is what I really want to crash out about today. I know we're going on a tangent today. I also don't care. I need to get this off my chest, all right? I put this on the Telegram. I was on the train back to Manchester, and I had to do a changeover in Leeds because the fucking trains are shite sometimes, especially on a weekday. I'm doing a changeover in Leeds, and I have 6 minutes to get from my train to the next train. And it's up, if you know Leeds Station, platform A, out of it, up the stairs, over the top, and then you go down the stairs at the back, all right? I had 6 minutes to change my train. And as I'm about to get ready to get off the train, because we're already slightly delayed, this Indian woman sits in the doorway. And I always stand up. And I like, whenever the train's busy, I can't be asked dealing with idiots going on about reservations because people annoy me. So I like to try and stand in the bit where the doors are, so I know I can just get straight out. Because it was only like a half an hour train for this changeover, and then the next one was like 38 minutes, whatever. So I'm stood in the doorway, and then the doors open, the automatic doors open from the carriage, and it's this Indian woman trying to sort out her pram. And she, number one, she couldn't fit it through the door because she's trying to do it sideways. I'm just thinking, just put it straight. Just put it straight. Why are you trying to fit some fucking... She's doing it sideways. She's putting it diagonally. She's got a kid in her arms and a kid screaming. And she's trying to push it through the... I'm just thinking, just put it straight. Just put it straight. Please just put it straight. She finally figures out to put it straight. Then she can't get the seat in. Then she can't get the fucking seat in for the pram. And I'm thinking, I'm going to crash. I'm going to crash out. I was like, I've got to get a connecting train. Please don't do this to me right now. She finally gets the seat in and she moves the pram into the connecting carriage bit where the doors are to get out. And she stood right in front of me. And I'm thinking, well, now I'm on the wrong side. It's me, an Indian woman with a fucking pram, which she took 20 minutes to fix, and then some Arab guy. And I'm thinking, I need to be with the Arab guys to get out of this fucking this train. And we finally get there. We've got 5 minutes until my changeover. Okay, I can make it. This fucking idiot then gets the fucking pram stuck again. Because she's decided to roll it in sideways instead of facing the door. So the Arab guy leaves, and there's a suitcase in the way. Then she has to try and back up into the alley and try and, like, change it around. And I'm just thinking, oh my fucking gosh, please help me. I was thinking maybe suicide is the option. Maybe Jason ARDAY was right. And I lost it. I literally lost it. I went, give me the pram. I went around the front of the pram, picked it up. I said, move backwards. Her kid's in the fucking pram. Her kid was in the fucking pram. And I just helped pick it up. I went, move. I drag it around and I pull it out of the train with her holding onto it. She's like, oh, thank you, sir. And by the time I got to my connecting train, I had fucking missed it because she couldn't get the pram out and I was stood in the carriage before her. But I missed my train because this fucking Indian idiot couldn't figure out how to use a fucking pram and understand that diagonals are not going to fit through a wall and that you have to do it in a certain fucking way. You can't just slam something at a brick wall and go, oh, it's going to work. So I was so pissed off. I was furious. I was going to fucking smack something. I got off my fucking... I had to wait another half an hour just to catch a train to Manchester. I was beyond pissed off. And then my headphones go, low battery, please charge. You can't be serious. It was over. I was losing it. And then it gets worse. All right. This is the day I've had. Then it gets worse. My neighbors are so mad that I'm shouting. Don't care. I'll tell you why I don't care. Because I get home. I take my bag off. I'm like, finally, I'm back in my palace. And all of a sudden, I hear all this loud banging. And I'm thinking, why? I've been away for a weekend. I'm pissed off at this Indian idiot that made me have to basically... It took me an hour longer to get home. I'm already not in the mood. I'm like, why? And some guys above me, whoever lives above me, I don't know who it is, banging for an hour and a half straight. I was genuinely this close to like losing it. I have enough of a drop out my window to do some damage. I was thinking, all right, fuck it. And then I was like, fine, whatever. I'll put my headphones on. He might just be doing construction. He might just be changing his room around. All right. I don't know. You could be doing anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just make some chicken nuggets. We'll make some easy goy slop. I'm starving. I'm an hour late home. I've not eaten anything. I just need to chill out. I go to put my air fryer on with the chicken nuggets. I put them in. I turn it on. And then about 3 minutes into them cooking, it takes 15 minutes. 15 minutes, halfway through, take them out, knock them around, whatever. Halfway through cooking them, it sets off my fucking fire alarm. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? It's in an air fryer. It's fucking loud. So I take them out and I smack the fire alarm, turns off. I'm thinking, right, whatever. And then I put them back in. 3 minutes later, it goes off again. I'm thinking, oh my fucking gosh, we can't be serious right now. I'm like, I'm already in a bad mood. I'm already in a bad mood. Everything's pissing me off today. It goes off again. I'm like, okay, fine. Put my nuggets back in. We're literally a minute away from them cooking. It goes off again. It went off 3 times. 3 fucking times in a 15-minute period. And he was still fucking banging. So I've not had a good day today. I can't lie. I've not had a good day today. It's been a bit all over the place. But anyway, that's the story. I needed to get that off my chest. I need to get that off my chest because it's doing my fucking head in. It's literally it's been bubbling. It's been bubbling for the last like what, 3 hours since I've been home. It's just been bubbling up. I just couldn't deal with it. I'm surprised I survived. You wonder how I've not turned into a supervillain yet. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, give me a few years and I'll be Thanos. Give me a few years and I'll be Thanos. But I survived the day. I don't care if they're mad at me shouting today. They can go fuck themselves because they pissed me off as well. They pissed me off as well. And the ones down the hallway had a fucking baby a few months ago, right? And my neighbors are all Chinese, right? And they had a baby a few months ago, and it always cried. It cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And then I was like, okay, please just shut the fuck up. And then it just stopped. And my neighbors are Chinese, and I thought, what the fuck? And I've not heard it since. So I'm convinced, like the Chinese do, and it probably was just a female woman. It was a female baby. You know what they do to the female babies? So, but they can't get mad at me for being loud, because they're fucking loud as well. So, anyway. Right, anyway, I'll get on to the actual news. Sorry, I know that was a long rant. You guys just got like a half an hour rant, but you guys just got like a half an hour rant. Enjoy the exclusive extra content. I imagine today's stream's going to go a little bit over, but that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, if you want your chat read out at the very end, make sure you drop a super chat, and I'll read all of those out at the end. It will pop up, and please don't ask me anything stupid. I'm not in the mood today. I'm just not in the mood today for anything stupid. Don't do a Lewis where you can't even use a Discord call properly. Just, if you're going to ask me something, please, I will throw something at my camera. Let's just not. All right? Peace and harmony. Anyway. Right, let's get on to the actual news. So obviously, last Friday, Jason ARDAY, his body was found in Battersea, unconscious, unresponsive. They've not confirmed the cause of death. I think we can all conclude it was probably a suicide. So, how did this happen? Let me explain where we got to. So, Jason ARDAY was appointed as a Cambridge professor in sociology, and he was the first black professor in Cambridge, and they made a big media stunt out of it. We're so happy to have you on board. It was a unanimous decision. 9 people on the board all voted to accept him into the role and allowed him to become a professor. And he was going on about all these stories. For years, he's been going on about these stories about sprinting 600 miles in 3 days or something like that. Talking about how he appeared on a show which is called 7 Up, even though that was about 21 years before he was even born. Talking about things like he once ran with a broken leg. Talking about how he raised millions for a charity which somehow never existed. All of these different issues in his claims, in his lies, because he was a serial liar, probably a psychopath or somebody that has an extreme narcissistic personality. He basically was found out multiple times to have been plagiarizing his academic work. And they also found out that he had lied to the board that had elected him to be a professor in Cambridge. So, Merlin, that is crazy. That's my kind of joke, all right? Stop stealing my thunder. Anyway, but he had lied to become a professor at Cambridge. And there were at least 2 reports before this big report came out. And you can go look about the guy that everyone's been speculating, because the guy that released the big report regarding Jason ARDAY in the
in the recent times, a Jewish guy, so they're like, well, it must be the Jews. I'm like, what the fuck's this got to do with the Jews? All right, I go, come on. Okay, one Jewish author exposes a black guy that shouldn't have his job, and now everyone's like, the Jews. I'm like, guys. But he had been caught out in lie after lie after lie. There had been 2 times previously where journalists had tried to expose that he was plagiarizing his work. There was both times Jason had gone out of his way to ring the police on the person that accused him of plagiarism. And the first time the police ignored it, the second time the police went forwards with it and told the journalist to leave him alone. So Jason had a track record of this personal victim manhood, where he was always a victim. It's always me. It's always, oh, poor me, poor me. You know, like the very stereotypical thing that you see quite heavily from the left wing identitarian, especially the ones that are foreigners that like to put their foreign mask to the front and to attack white people and to attack any form of criticism, because if you attack me, then you're racist or it's some form of bigotry or all of that. So that was kind of the background, but he was exposed to be plagiarizing not only his academic achievements, but his life stories, and it was all this big puzzle about who actually is this guy and what actually is he achieved. And it led to the point where Cambridge offered an investigation into him as a professor, into his life at Cambridge. And the second they did that, he resigned, because obviously he knew, ah, shit, I'm fucked. Because I can imagine living with all of those lies was weighing him down immensely regarding his attitude to life. I mean, imagine holding on to a lie for what? Years and years and years. And then it gets to the point where there were 188 articles released on him in the span of 9 days, from things like The Sun to the Guardian. Every single news article was releasing something on him. And obviously it got to the point where he couldn't handle the fire and is now dead. So that's kind of like the very bland backstory to how we got here. A narcissist with a history of lying and making up things and trying to advance his career via forgery and plagiarism ends up being scrutinized for his lies, and because they don't make any sense, because he's been caught in a web of lies, his reaction is, well, instead of owning up to what I did, or even passing, he could have passed the blame on to Cambridge and being like, you know, they're a bad institution because they were trying to fill quotas and I wasn't qualified and they put me in a stressful environment. He could have done that, but he turned into a situation where he went, no, I'm just going to kill myself. So that's kind of where we are. And that's not really the important thing. I want to make this clear. That's not really the important thing. I don't care that Jason is dead. And I mean that nicely. I care about his family, obviously, being left without a father, but I don't care that Jason killed himself because I just think that he's selfish. I think that in my evaluation, it was, well, what's the best legacy to have? It could have been going down as a liar and admitting your mistakes and losing your book and your career and all of that, but still, you know, being able to rebuild something. Instead, it was, well, I'm going to go down as a liar anyway, so I might as well kill myself and martyr myself so that the blame gets pushed onto the racist media, to the right wing, which we're saying, and to the institution. So that was my analysis of what he did. It was a narcissist that killed himself to martyr himself as an eternal victim. Following on, really, his life goal of being a victim by way of identitarianism. And then that's not the important thing there. The important thing is the response on all sides to this situation. And I think it's a lot more nuanced than people want to make it out to be. Obviously, the left is blaming the right, and they're all saying it was the racism, it was the media, and the right's blaming DEI, and they're saying, well, you've got to stop hiring blacks in these jobs because they're just not prepared for it. And it's the left's fault for advancing up this colorblind meritocracy where we're trying to put merit onto identity quotas rather than put it onto actual skill and ability. So the left is trying to deem it as one thing, the right is trying to deem it as another thing. Now, I actually think it can be a combination of both. I remove the racism claim from it because I think that, of course, people are going to be skeptical about a unanimous decision to employ some random black guy who apparently was autistic and nonverbal to the age of 11, but then went on to get a PhD and then a Cambridge professor. I don't care about the racist claim. I think that's stupid. The media, well, obviously the media sells a story. It's the media's job to sell stories, and media attention can be massive sometimes. I think that one thing that we need to rectify with this situation is not just the fact that, okay, DEI policy sucks, but the media is part of the DEI. The media overrepresents minority communities. So when one of their idols of DEI, like Jason, when one of their idols gets found out to not fit the quota, why do you think it's in the interest of the media to turn against that idol? Because if you say, well, you lied, it was about your plagiarism, you got into these positions because you told us you were something different, then it takes away from the factor that the media hires people based on racial characteristics, which is anti-white. So the media has its own purpose for pushing this story so heavily and trying to slam down specifically on the plagiarism, specifically on Jason's stories and Jason's actions, because it wasn't just the forgery regarding his academic work as a Cambridge professor, but it was also all the little stories that he had told about 7-Up and the charities and the book sales and the autism and all of that. Because that is what they wanted to focus on. They were like, well, he just lied. He was just a liar. And then the right on the other side say, well, hold on, it was DEI. And this is why I'm saying it's a factor of both. Because the media have a responsibility to uphold the status quo. And the DEI policy is part of that status quo. So the media then falls into protecting DEI by throwing away their sacrificial lamb, who is Jason. And how can I prove that? Well, for example, look at Good Morning Britain. What are they talking about? You had a black host on with two black individuals, both with slightly differing views regarding the situation, but they were still going on about, oh, it's racism and all of this, because racism, of course, can only happen from the right wing, from the right wing that's willing to call out DEI. It's racist to call out DEI. That's the point. And that's why things like BBC have on black individuals to talk about it. That's why you've not heard this from anybody on our side of the fence that wants to talk DEI. Because the media's role is to protect the status quo. That's the point. So I think that it's more nuanced than to just saying, well, look, it's DEI's fault. It's DEI's fault and the media's fault. Because by proxy, they have to work together. And this is why I was trying to explain to people that this whole thing regarding the situation. Now, look what they're actually doing. You're trying to have a nuanced conversation about DEI, they push it away. Instead, what do? They bring you an extreme argument and mask it with a small argument. If any of you don't know what this is called the Moat and Bailey fallacy. So basically, you present an extreme idea, but then you mask it with a more acceptable and plausible idea. So what they do is, well, the extreme idea is having an equal amount of black individuals to white individuals in these institutions, not based on credibility, not based on academic success, not based on any form of professional standard, but instead, well, we need this many blacks because there's this many whites, and we must all be equal. So this is what I'm saying. You're presenting this extreme argument, and that really is extreme in a country where blacks are, 3% of the population? That is a really extreme argument. But the Moat next to the Bailey, the moat is, well, it's equality and we're supposed to be inclusive, and white privilege is taking this country and black individuals are disadvantaged. So where the fallacy plays in is they're presenting this extreme argument, which is even though they make up such a small percentage of the population compared to everybody else, they need to be equally represented in institutions. You see what I'm saying? And the left do this all the time. Let's make this very clear. The left do this all the time. They do this for situations like, let's talk about transgenderism. They say, well, they say trans women are women. That's an extreme claim. That's like, hold on, that's denying all form of biological reality. And then the more acceptable claim is, well, everybody should be free to be who they are. You see how that works? It's like all of a sudden, it's like, well, I agree that everyone, well, I don't, because we don't believe in liberalism. But the average person goes, well, hold on, I agree with the fact that everybody is able to be who they are. We should all be able to live our lives the way we want. Most average people in Britain are going to agree with that. But that's the small argument, and the big argument is, well, we're denying biology, and this man with a dress on is the same as that woman that was born a woman. So this is what I'm saying. When I read the news regarding these things, what they're doing is the Moat and Bailey fallacy. What they're doing is presenting this extreme argument of DEI, masking it behind racial equality and kindness and fairness and equity. And people are trying to criticize the DEI, and because you're going for the Bailey and not the Moat, they're calling you racist. They're saying it's a public lynching. It's the right-wing abuse. It's the social media abuse. It's the racist intolerance. Whereas if we were to criticize the small approach, we can't do that because most people are going to agree with the idea of being tolerant and respectful. So you can't attack the policy they're implementing because they're hiding it behind a shield. And that's the fallacy. And that's what the media always does. That's what the left always does. And that's what they're doing now. That's exactly what they're doing now. And everyone's falling for it. They're saying, well, look, the left is pushing forward all of these different policies, and it's just DEI, and the media is then defending it. And then the left's also attacking the media, but the media's attacking the right. The media's not even attacking the left. I'm like, it doesn't need to be so divided. This left-right thing doesn't always need to be pushed forward. This right here is a national issue. The national issue is that the frameworks of what is being taught as acceptable and not acceptable are being watered down into these ideas that you must accept because they are so baseline that everything else could just sit behind it. Everything else can just sit behind it. Do you see what I'm saying? So no, I don't think it's just the media. I don't think it's just the institutions of the DEI. I think it's all of it. I think all of it is the reason for the situation that we find ourselves in. And look, I think obviously DEI is a terrible idea. DEI literally just removes any form of standards. It removes any form of standards to replace them with quotas. It removes any form of meritocracy. It removes any form of having advancements or genuine advantages via your passion for a subject or even via like physical advancements. It removes any of that to replace it with models of acceptance. And the issue with doing that is you are going to set up these minorities that are not qualified to be in these positions of power to perform worse. You are not going to allow for the people that actually have the ability to perform at a higher standard to grab those roles. In return, you're going to get a worse outcome. And when that person inevitably performs worse, well, they're going to lash out. They will blame things like racism. They will blame things like systematic oppression. They'll blame things like white privilege. Even a report came out, I think about a week ago, where a student that used to have Jason as a teacher a few years back, she got marked 70 instead of her usual 75. And she questioned Jason. She was like, well, hold on, how did this happen? Now, obviously, Jason has no idea how to actually mark an academic paper correctly because he's just not smart, because he was just a diversity hire. And he just blames her white privilege. He says, well, it's your white privilege. And apparently got angry and defensive. And he made it about race because instead of being able to be held to account on your lack of ability, instead, it gets pushed into, well, it's you, it's the system, it's the institution. And in a way, it is the institution, because the institution is giving them that ego to be able to stand up and say, well, I hold no responsibility for this situation. And by Jason martyring himself, again, what it does is it allows him to stand there and say, well, I hold no responsibility for this. It's the media's fault. It's the institution's fault. It's the right wing's fault. And that's why I said he's martyring himself. That's why I'm said you're not looking at this properly. The correct approach is DEI is bad for everybody. There's a reason that, for example, the amount of people refusing treatment from a non-white person now in hospital is a record high. Because foreign doctors are more likely, people with a degree from a third world country are more likely to perform worse and not reach the same standard of quality. Go look this up, real report. Are more likely to not reach the same level of quality than somebody that was trained in the first world. And this is really the issue you find yourselves in when it comes to these situations, because who are the people that are affected by DEI? Well, it's the white people. You wonder why there's a surplus for the amount of white British people trying to apply for jobs in the health sector, trying to apply for jobs with healthcare. You wonder why there's a surplus for them, but there's not enough roles for them, because it's easier to import the people that are going to accept the worst work conditions, that have a lower level of education, because they become cheap labor. It becomes cheaper to hire these people. You don't have to increase the wages overall, because they'll allow themselves to go out and they'll basically be raped by the economic benefits. But the effect of that is the supply, the output becomes worse for people. And you put the foreigners in a bubble of privilege because you say it doesn't matter that you're shit, you're still allowed the job anyway. Whereas if it was a white person, it's, well, number one, you can't even get the job because you don't qualify by who you are. I mean, I think even in West Yorkshire Police, they come out now with diversity training. It's like you have to treat people that are black different from people that are white. You can't go and do stop and search. They call like frisk policy. They call that racism. I'm like, well, that's just statistics. Black people on average have a lower IQ. Is that offensive to say? I don't really care. It's true. So when somebody like Jason's given a role into Cambridge, you wonder why people are sitting there and questioning it. You wonder why people are trying to dig for plagiarism. And his response is to call the police, talk about racism, talk about white privilege, because you're putting them on a pedestal. You're putting them on a pedestal about these things. You're giving them a situation where they can pretend like they are better. So really, it's a spider web of issues that lead to these situations. I don't think it's the right wing. I think that as the right wing, as the ideologically racial and identitarian right wing, we have the ability to say, well, why has this guy been given a job that he's not qualified for? There's nothing inherently offensive about that. Sure, there may be prejudice against that, but who gives a fuck? Who cares? Instead, we have to also look at, well, what is the media's intention? The media's intention is to uphold the status quo. And the status quo will always be DEI. So if that means that a sacrificial lamb like Jason is thrown out to the curb, thrown onto the pentagram of diversity, and sacrificed to Baal, well, they don't care. Because they actually don't care about these people as individuals. This is also the point. The ideological left do not care about the foreigners as individuals. They genuinely only care about them because of their race. As much as they like to pretend like they don't and that they're colorblind, they only care about a black person because they are black. They only care about the gays because they're gay. They only care about the women because they're women. They don't care about the individual grouping. They just want to feel good about inclusivity. Whereas on the other foot, the ideological right, we do care about what somebody is. We do care about somebody being a woman, or somebody being a man, or somebody being white, or somebody being non-white. But we care about that because of grouping and where we believe that they belong in society. We say, well, hold on, look, maybe women don't need to have to go and search massive careers. Maybe they should be able to have the ability to raise as many children as they want. Maybe they should have the ability to sit at home and be looked after by a husband, but we need an economy that can get ourselves there. Whereas those on the left are like, well, no, we should have black professors. We should have an equal level of black professors and white professors because it's about diversity, but that diversity kills them. Everyone's seen the clip of Charlie Kirk talking about he wouldn't get on a plane with a black pilot. I don't agree with Charlie Kirk. I think he was fairly liberal. But yeah, fair enough. I don't blame him. Listen, I like my life, all right? If I get on a plane, I'm going to talk to the pilot. If I knock on the door, you're like, pilot, and it turns around, it's fucking based in Bougie. I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. Not only because she's going to weigh down the plane at the front nose, but because it's just, I'm not trusting that. You know what I mean? And this is why I'm saying you should be prejudiced with these things. What's wrong with that? This whole idea, this whole quote-unquote witch hunt was to remove prejudice. That's what it was. It was to remove this idea of racial prejudice. Just still carry on with the notion that we're all the same, everything's equal, don't worry about it. I'm just saying, no, you should be. You should be prejudiced about these things. You should be concerned about these things. There is nothing wrong with thinking somebody like Jason should not be in power. And like all I'm saying to you is go read the media. They're not making this about the fact that he was a DEI hire. They're blaming the racist far right, and they're blaming the media witch hunt and the lynching. That's what they're doing. Why do you think they use words like lynching? Why do you think they use words like lynching? Well, obviously, it's powerful in regards to the history of racism against blacks. They're talking about what happened in South America, where blacks were hung from trees. They're talking about the deep racial divide between whites and blacks. That's what they're doing. That's why they use words like digital lynching. They're making it an issue that it's the white man's fault for Jason being a serial liar and then trying to martyr himself. The media is not blaming DEI. They're blaming Jason's action of fraud because he is the sacrificial lamb, because they don't care about him, because he was supposed to be the one. He was supposed to be the black guy. He was supposed to be the black guy that would make other black guys look intelligent. Difficult, I know. That was a joke. That was a joke. But this is what I'm saying. People are so stupid. Even on our side. People are so stupid because even our side falls into the, and I've said this before, what I say about the whole like Alex Phillips or Julie Harley Brewer going on about Britain being an identity via values. I said they're distracting you. You're falling into the bait. They want you to do this whole like take a side, be mad at each other. Don't think about the actual problem that's incurring. And the problem that's incurring is there is a grip over our institutions that is removing the standard and the quality of them in this hope for diversity, whilst they're leading to the replacement of our people. Because do you ever think it would be the same on the other foot? Let's say the whites became minority in this country like we're on track to. Do you think they would want an equal amount of whites on the same panel as blacks? They do this with everything. They do it with everything. It was only about 3 weeks ago where the Labour Party, you had Labour ministers coming out and saying that the next Labour leader should be a woman and they should disadvantage men that want to run for the leader of the Labour Party and let it be a woman. I'm really sorry I don't want a woman as Prime Minister. But this idea has gone too far. And that's the real issue. They're all institutions are working against you. All institutions are still pushing the status quo. I'm not going to sit here and harp on about Jason because who gives a shit? I mean that now, who gives a shit? This guy got scrutinized once and killed himself. It's like, all right, congrats. What do you want me to say about that? But the issue is the media's working for a reason, the legislation's working for another reason, and the institutions are all working in collaboration for this anti-white agenda. And you can get mad at DEI, but while also simultaneously ignoring what the media are doing, well, then you're just giving in to what they want. Be focused on one thing rather than recognize the whole picture. And the whole picture is that all of it is anti-white. And you really can only get past this situation when we deny all forms of care, when they throw the racism allegation, when we ignore their Moat and Bailey fallacy, when we just push forward. The reality of the situation is you are advocating for anti-white institutions. You are building anti-white institutions and policy and legislation. You are sacrificing these minorities for your grand scheme of takeover. And instead of just getting angry at one part or another, we say, we don't give a fuck about your stories. I don't care about your guilt trips. I don't care about your racism claims. I don't care about just DEI. I care about that everything you put out is to try and remove us. Because then what have we gone back to doing today? Straight back today, the right wing goes back to an article in the Telegraph going on about the Great Replacement theory, and that this Jew, he's an Orthodox Jew that said he would take up arms for Israel against England. This Orthodox Jew comes out and says it's just a conspiracy theory from the far right in America, and everyone's instantly moved on to the next thing. It's like, well, this same media, the Telegraph, were the ones that were also putting out hit pieces against Jason. And now 3 days later, 4 or 5, a week later, whatever, now they've changed their tune instantly and they're back to attacking white people. And you've moved on. Now you're back to attacking that. It's like, hello? Please. Am I the only guy awake? Am I the only man with a brain? Can nobody else see this? Can nobody else see this? The same institutions you were just signing on to attack DEI are now turning against you again. Somebody help me. Somebody lobotomize me, please. Like, what are we doing? And this is really why we get nowhere. It's because, again, everyone's just too focused on being angry. It's like, okay, what do you want me to say? I know you guys can see it, because if you watch this show, by now you should see it. By now you should understand that 82% of all newspaper distribution here in Britain, that counts as online media as well, 82% of it is owned by non-living, well, non-native people. It's owned by foreigners. 82%. The Murdoch empire takes up a majority of it. Takes up things like the Telegraph, like the Sun, like Talk TV. It's foreign-owned media. So when they're pumping out this rhetoric, well, why would they be willing to turn against Jason? Their dream boy, who only a few years ago they were all promoting. Why would they now turn against him? Because it's not beneficial for the status quo. You know what else isn't beneficial for the status quo? White people. White tribalism. White tribalism, white identitarianism, native identity, native rights, collectivism, English, Scottish, Welsh, Ulster Scot, sectarian voting. That's not beneficial to the status quo. They will promote you until you're going to harm their image, and then they will kill you. The media will kill you. They will do anything in their power to remove you from the limelight. And they will give you the blame and be like, it's definitely not our fault that we helped get you people into these positions. And the institutions will turn around. And what has Cambridge done? Cambridge comes out today and they start blaming the racist fury and the racist frenzy. They come out and they say it's the racist frenzy against Jason that killed him. You hired him. You put him into that position that he wasn't qualified for. You did that because you're trying to abide by an anti-white establishment. You are an anti-white establishment. You're an anti-white institution. You did that, and now you're pushing the blame onto racism. The media amped this guy up, promoted this guy, spotlighted him, gave him interview after interview, gave him media appearance after media appearance. And the second he's no longer useful for them, because they cannot hide from the fact that he should never have been in that role, they turn on him. And they just kill him. They're like, nah. And then when that's gone under the rug again, they go back to their anti-white rhetoric and start slamming the Great Replacement theory, calling it racist and far-right and bigotry and relating it to Nazism. And you eat it up. You eat up the slop from the foreign-owned waves, and you pretend like we're fighting the right enemy. They're playing you like a fiddle, and you're too busy looking at headlines when they're all designed on purpose to uphold a certain message because it is propaganda. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I've been seeing. And that's why I've been so annoyed over the last few days looking at the backlash regarding this thing, because I've just been like, why are you siding with this institution, this paper, these newspapers that are going to turn on you again straight away? Do you see what I mean? So, do I really give a shit that Jason's dead? No. Do I care about DEI? Yes. Do I care about what the media's been doing? Yes. Do I care about this anti-white institution? Yes. Do I think we are attacking the wrong thing? I think we're too distracted with reactions. That's what I think we're doing. We're too distracted because it's all against you. Everything is against you. So, wake up. Wake up. So there you go. Anyway, I'll get on to the super chats. When I get the jumper from, this is from Boohoo Man. I made a little Oriental man make it for me. My hoodie's coming tomorrow though. The Prioritise Britain hoodie is coming tomorrow. Same with the quarter zip. What have we got coming tomorrow? A new release, an exclusive hat that's releasing. I'll show you that tomorrow. I'm gonna show you live on. I'll show you live on stream. New hat. I'll show off the Spurg Wars t-shirt. That's coming tomorrow as well. Then the quarter zip and the hoodie. I'll show you those all. Very nice. They're embroidered. The quarter zip and the hoodie are embroidered. We got the little British symbol, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be absolute swagger, all right? That's really how you make people question you. It's subtle as well. It's the subtle logo. I'll show you tomorrow, but it's the subtle logo that really helps it. Cannot wait for the drop. Yo, W Spurg Wars. We're looking forward to the Spurg Wars. I'm looking forward to getting my Spurg Wars t-shirt tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting my Spurg Wars t-shirt tomorrow. I want to see how it comes out. You guys get to see the high definition. Funny as fuck characters on it as well, so that's crazy. And I'm getting onto the super chat. Surprised you can legally sell it. It falls under parody. It falls under parody. So I say that I'm going to get a fucking cease and desist, aren't I? It's so coming through the door. Let me go on to the super chats. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted right now. I do apologize. I don't know why that didn't read through. But he cooked 30 gorilla paws in 35 minutes. Yo, I cooked 31. What the fuck? Okay. All right.
Live by the lie. Die by the lie. Ninja emoji.
Yeah, well, look, if you're like, this is the thing, right? If you are a serial liar, if you are a serial liar, you can't live in lie forever. You'll just be caught out. You'll just be caught out. Imagine being, what? Anyway. Did I get into the COVID stuff? I never took the vaccine. Everyone was mad at me when I didn't. I mean, this is before I even started, you know, being open my politics. But everyone was mad at me. I just didn't trust it. I'm not stupid. And I didn't take the vaccine because I didn't want it. I was like, why the fuck would I want this? I said, at this time I was like, what? Let me think. 2021, that was like, what? 5 years ago? I was like 18. No, it was before that, wasn't it? It was 2020. I was like 16, 17. I was thinking, why do I need a vaccine for, what, a common cold? Because I always had common sense. I'm a pure blood. Blood and soil. No, but I refused. And my family got it. And my family were mad at me because I refused to get it. I just went, no, I don't want that shit. I was like, it's not been tested. Operation Warp Speed, it's not gone through any of the safety precautions. We have no idea what's actually in it. We don't even know what the long-term effects of COVID are. And it just seems to be a common cold affecting the elderly. And I remember this one time I told somebody, I'm not going to say who, but I told somebody that I wasn't going to take it. And they were like screaming at me, like, you're going to kill off old people. It's your fault. And I just thought, shut the fuck up. Honestly, if you are that hysterical about the common flu killed more people a year, by the way. If you are that hysterical about a flu, you need to kill yourself, because there's no point you living. You're going to be that hysterical about everything for the rest of your life. Just do yourself the easy option and kill yourself. What is the point? I never understood the mass hysteria about COVID. I didn't care. I mean, back then I was fine with it, like getting to stay inside all the time. Because this is when I was just playing video games all the time. I was just on Overwatch every day. I was having a nice time just playing Overwatch. Never did any of my work. Left all my work last minute. So, yeah, I was having a great time. I was just like, you know what, fuck it, who cares? I wasn't a big social guy. I wasn't going out like to secret parties. I was just like, fuck it, fine, whatever. I'll just stay inside and play video games. But anyone that fell for the slop, shut the fuck up. Anyone that was massively, all these idiots, I hated the masks as well. You know what I mean? They were such dicks about the masks as well. They were such dicks. Like, it was so difficult to keep on a mask. Because, like, you would try and talk, and it would just slip down. I remember this one time. I was in and I was at the till, and everyone had the fucking mask on, and I was with my friend, because where I used to go to college, there was an Arsenal like 10 minutes down the road, and I was with my friend, and we were just walking around Arsenal having a conversation, and we get to the till, and my mask is slipped like there. I'm joking, but my mask is slipped like there, and this guy, this woman at the till is like, put your mask back on or I'll kick you out. And I'm thinking, I literally went, it slipped below my nose slightly because I'm having a conversation and I'm moving my jaw. That's how talking works, you stupid bitch. And she was like screaming at me. And then I put my mask back on and I went, well, I didn't mean to. I was just talking to my friend and it slipped. And while I was talking to her, it slipped again. And she went, it's still not on properly. I was just thinking, I fucking hate you people. So now anytime that I see anyone that was wearing one of those masks, even nowadays, people still wear it. The only people I will accept wearing those masks are East Asians. They're the only, because they wear those shit, okay? That's just their thing. Anybody else that wears those masks nowadays is a fucking moron. You know what was crazy to me as well? When you would see all of those people wearing a mask in their own car. Why are you wearing a mask in the car? What do we do? What is that about? Why? You know what I mean, though? They would literally sit there and wear a mask in the car. I'm just thinking, what are you doing? In all fairness, now that I think about it, to earn a quick buck, everybody back in those days should have started up their own mask company. Everybody in those days should have started up a mask company. We'd all be fucking ballers right now. The Jews would have nothing on us. We'd be ballers right now. But we didn't. We didn't. We should have done that. So that's where we really, missed the mark. Everybody should have been selling masks, and we would have been millionaires. But okay, if you Chinese man eating a bat, Wuhan lab, if you can hear me, please create another COVID. I have a financial opportunity ahead. Xi Jinping, if you can hear me, please release another biological weapon. I have an economic opportunity ahead. Please. Xi Jinping, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I have an idea. I will give you 10%. I will give you 10% equity in the company. Anyway, it was fucking stupid. COVID was fucking retarded. COVID was fucking stupid. Can't even go outside, Hugh. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know who buy up the masks? Middle-aged white women, because they're stupid. No offense to any middle-aged white woman, but you are probably stupid. Young women, just women. I don't even know why I'm trying to specify what other kind of women. Women. They buy up the masks. They buy up the masks. Yeah, ask one of my. I'm gonna go ask Ching next door. Hey yo, Ching. Hey yo, Ching, man. Ching, give Xi Jinping a call. I need a new Wuhan Kung flu. I think Ching got the message. Anyway. Thanks for the $1. What am I, a fucking homeless guy outside of Sainsbury's? Like, why give me $1 for? Well, what is that about? What am I? Am I sat there with a little fucking paper cup begging? Like, what do I need right now? Thanks for the. What do you want me to get with that? Get Haribos? Fuck you, no, joking. Here's $1. Here's $1, goy. Here's $1, goy. Put it in my little paper cup while I sit there outside of Sainsbury's begging. Please, sir, any spare change? I'm going to be like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, any more? No, I'm joking. I actually was Oliver Twist once. Backstory. God, why am I giving you guys so much lore today? Backstory. Let me give you a backstory. I actually was Oliver Twist once. In my year 6 play, I was Oliver Twist for the... Yeah, everyone does like a production of years. I was Oliver Twist. I could sing. Not anymore. My voice dropped. But I could sing. So, yeah, that's a cool fact. Someone's got a tape of that somewhere. Someone's got a tape of that somewhere. I know they do. I'm not a fucking theatre kid. Call me that again, I will fucking find you and smack you in the face. All right? Don't ever call me that. Anyway, but... I was Oliver Twist. I was singing, I was dancing. I would be like, I'd do anything. Please, sir, can I have some more? I was really good at it. I could hit the high notes. I'll tell you who has a recording of it. My year 6 teacher. He doesn't like me. I know that. He does not like my politics. That's fine with me. But, yeah, maybe he'll release that one day just to start a scandal. To start a scandal, I don't know.
There you go, buddy, some beer and pizza money, champ.
We're really just scraping the bottom of the barrel tonight, aren't we, guys? This is what we're doing right now. We're just gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel. Great. Cheers, mate. I'm gonna go buy what? You know what I can do with that £2? I can get a bus ticket to the Domino's that's about 20 minutes down the road, and I'll go scrape through the fucking bin. Then I might be able to find some beer and pizza. You piece of shit. What are we doing? Are we actually just scraping the bottom of the barrel? Like, what is the point? What is the fucking point? Genuinely. What do you guys want me to do? What do you guys want me to do? You guys are pieces of shit. You guys are pieces of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck you, Dan. What the fuck is wrong with you? I can't even get Haribos. I can't get Haribos. I can't get a Freddo. What is wrong with you people? Genuinely, what is wrong with you people? Who sits there and goes, here's a pound. Okay, great. My bills are paid. Cheers for that one, guys. My bills are paid. Cheers for that one, you fucking piece of the shit. Great. I really just am Oliver Twist. What's the point? Honestly, what is the point? Maybe when I was kicked out, I should have just gone homeless, because I already feel like I am fucking homeless right now. You guys aren't even asking any. You could be asking me, like, to explain political theory, to explain ideologies, to talk about a political event. Instead, you're just bullying me now. He said you're just bullying me. But whatever. Okay, mention fucking Dua Lipa. Okay. Simon Tomlin's correct. We're fucked. Regarding who? Who? Look, I've said before that I think a lot of these big organizations are a one-way ticket to a jail cell. And this is why I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like you should go out and join all these organizations that throw salutes and whatnot, because I think you're going to end up on a list. I think you're probably going to end up with a long jail cell. I think so many people waste their opportunities cosplaying and role-playing. The issue is people don't understand how to get into institutions nor actually take power. They just want to LARP. And that's what annoys me. And I come out and I say, I don't agree with trying to, you know, pretend like we're something we're not. Because what people go on about the Nazis. We're not the Nazis, all right? We are not a 1930s German party. And don't even tell me we are, because I'm just going to tell you to fuck off. I hate when people do that. Instead of doing that, why don't we actually think about the future? Why don't you build something now? You ever thought about that? Why don't you, like, put the Twitter down, put the armband down, put the tribal flag down, and be a little bit more tactical? It just doesn't even make sense. It's like the Knights Templar, Jin Dowson. He's always in my comments. He's always in my comments, and he's always like, you know, this is going to lead to war. This is going to lead to war, young man. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, there is not going to be a physical revolution in which we can participate in. It's not. Do you understand how widespread power is? Do you even know who you're fighting? Do you know who you're fighting? Do you know the institutions that you're fighting? It's not just Burnham. You're talking the civil servants. You're talking the court. You're talking every police force. You're talking every single treaty that we're signed up to. You're talking the global markets. You're talking about global finance. Do you know what you're fighting? Do you know how many foreign military bases there are here in Britain? You're talking about a revolution. Like, what? Jim Dawson's like, young man, we're starting the next crusade, young man. You've got to be ready for the next crusade, young man. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Please, shut the fuck up. It's so stupid. Do you understand, like, just how many American trained soldiers there are here? Really? How many of you actually know how to fire a gun? How many of these idiots that LARP like physical revolutionaries do they understand? How many of them understand how to fire a gun? Tell me. Probably like 1% of them. And what, they think they're going to overthrow? They think they're going to overthrow all power institutions with what? What do you want? What do you want? A Nerf gun? Like, you guys are fucking... You guys are fucking stupid if you think you're going to do that. And I genuinely fucking despise it. I genuinely despise when people say that. It is so pathetic when these people try and tell me about we're going to have a revolution, like civil war is coming. I'm like, please just stop. Please just stop. Enjoy jail. Enjoy jail. Like, what would you want from me? I'm being you like, look, you are a fully grown adult. Do what you like. I'm not going to endorse any stupid behavior. Do what you like. When it doesn't work, when you end up in jail, what do you want from me? Stop acting like children. They all act like, okay, I make some jokes. I can be jokey. I can be comedic. I can be entertaining, whatever. But what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? All of these institutions as well are going to infiltrate you. All of these networks that have a list of membership, they are going, it's not difficult for our intelligence agency to hack into your databases and pull out your data. You think that your encrypted chat's going to save you? It's not difficult for them to infiltrate into it. MI6 have been at the downfall of like every single right-wing institution over the last few decades. UKIP, BNP, National Front. They infiltrated into so many different regions. You think they're not going to look at you and put you on their list? They'll just wait until the time is right. Why? Because, like, put it like this. Why would they go after a small group of, like, what, 30 men? Why would they do that? But instead, if it's a group of 3,000 men, 3,000 potential terrorists that could be a threat to the government, oh, we'll just send in some MI6 agents. We'll just collect the list of people that are in it. We'll just put them on a watch list, and we'll just start building up reports. We'll just start building up reports about who's going to get lobbed behind bars. But people don't want to admit that. People don't want to admit that. They just want to sit there and say, we're gonna be violent. Yeah, okay. You enjoy your prison. It's just, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. Do you understand you're living in the modern world? Do you understand you're living in a world where technology is so advanced, they are tracking you wherever you go? AI recognition, no matter what you do, they literally have cameras. Even if you wear sunglasses and a mask, they have cameras that can go through your sunglasses and grab your eyes. And when they have your retinals, there you go. Now they can find out exactly who you are. Like, please. I'm not saying it because I hate these people. I really don't. Like, I don't hate anybody that's involved with these institutions or that thinks that's the solution. I just wish that they would be smart enough to recognize it's not going to work. And all they're going to do is harm themselves. And so many, like, bright young guys that are going to throw away their opportunities where they could go on to actually do something better. They're going to throw away their opportunities for what? 5 minutes of LARPing as a revolutionary? Okay. But don't come to me when it fails, because I'm not getting involved with your cases. I'm not getting involved with your situations. I don't want to see anybody locked away for years at a time because they thought that was a good idea. And if that makes me if I have to be like the bad parent that sits there and tells you off for doing stupid shit, then so be it. So be it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's true. It's true. Same as the communist laughers. Yeah, the fucking communists. They're the exact same. We need to smash the far right. You're not going to do shit. All right? You're not going to do shit. And I mean that nicely. You are not going to do shit. There is nothing you can do. Nothing.
There you go, Oliver.
Cheers, Dan. Oliver now can get some beers. Use that they put you on their list to your advantage. What advantage? Why would you want to be on a list when you can have a clean slate, subvert into institutions, build up a local candidacy, build up local business, grow wealth. It's never been easy to become rich. Work to infiltrate into institutions, reverse engineer what the Jews did to gain power, and then begin to push from inside. Who do you think? Who do you think has more power? A nationalist group of 10,000 members on social media shouting at politicians online, or 100 staffers inside of the offices? Give it a guess. I've got some dark horses. I've got some dark horses to play later on down the line. They're waiting. They're waiting quietly. They're waiting quietly. But I don't like you people. I don't like you people. You're just going to waste my time like this. Are we really doing this right now?
We need Prioritise Britain armbands.
No. Kill yourself. Why would I do that? What do I look like, Nick Tangoni? Why would I do that? That is literally what Nick Tangoni does. That's literally what Nick Tangoni does. 10K people are louder. Okay, they might be louder, but you know what else is loud? The entire few thousand people at UTK. What did that do? Nothing. You know who got Burnham out? Sorry, Burnham into power? Very small amount of people. Small amount of lobbyists, small amount of staffers, people like Morgan McSweeney. You can have a loud crowd. Okay. It's not going to do anything. It's just not going to do anything. I think you're probably on a list already, Hugh. Yeah, I think I'm on a list as well, but I'm not stupid. I'm aware. This is why I'm saying to people, keep a clean slate. Why would you want to be on a list? You know what I mean? Why would you want to throw yourself out there? I don't know. Most people just should not do this. You should just be smart. It's like a dangerous world for these things, but people just, they don't listen. They just don't listen. Well, I often think about Hugh. What? They'll net everyone on the vet everyone on the right. You do know this is the thing, right? People go on about my idea about institutions. Why do you think I'm saying that? How do you think I know the inside information? Why do you think I know that Nigel Farage speaks about me at private dinners? How do you think I know that? That's because I'm aware. Why have there hair in my mouth? That's because I'm aware of people inside that are friends to me and give me information. That's just as an example. Do you remember how I said a deal between reform, the Tories was inevitable, and now what are they talking about? Now what are they talking about? They're talking about a deal between them. Why would they play fair? Well, they're not going to play fair, but we can't play fair either. If we're trying to play into their hands, then this is why I'm saying subvert. Subversion's not playing fair. That's taking advantage.
When we getting the Nick Fuentes collab?
There's already been a Nick Fuentes collab. Me and Nick Fuentes played Marvel Rivals together. We played Marvel Rivals together a few, like a month and a half back. We talk every now and again. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be times when me and Nick play games at some point. I don't really know if it'd be on stream. I don't know if it'll be on stream, but I'm off to America at some point. I don't know when, because I'm moving soonish. I'm moving soonish. So I need to figure that out. Might be the end of the year that I'm off to America. I'm meeting a few people. Basil and Benny, good friends with those two. Very nice people. I'm meeting Basil and Benny, hopefully. We're doing a bit of a tour around America. I've got some friends in DC I'm going to go meet. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? The issue is, right, with all these things is, like, number one, you've got, like, the time difference. Like, it's, like, I think the reason me and Nick haven't played games since is because when he gets on to play games, it's like 9 in the morning, and I'm tired. To Dewsbury, are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? You live in fucking... I'm not going to expose where you live, but shut the fuck up. Honestly. Jason, his family's put out... Have they? Oh, yeah, this is just when they want, like, peace at this time. In shock to have lost this amazing father, partner, brother, uncle, and son. That's what I'm saying about suicide. It's just selfish. It's just fucking selfish. Come to Santa Monica, California. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I will. Meet Sam High. I don't know. I've not planned who I'm meeting. The only people I discussed it with was Basil and Benny so far. Oh, and my friend in DC. I've got 2 friends in DC I want to go meet. But I'm sure they'll introduce me to more people as well while I'm there. So Italy. I do want to go to Italy. I want to go see Rome. You know what I mean? I want to go see Rome. Come to Brazil. All right. That's too far. That's just too far. What do I look like? Oliver Tree? Anyway. Sam will have me on. I might give him a shot. I don't know. Right, looks like Fallout London DLC. Does it? You live in Naples. W Naples. I do like the Italians, right? Never go to Brazil. Wasn't planning on it. Believe in me, wasn't planning on it. I do want to travel more of Europe. This was the first year I ever traveled. I went to Portugal, obviously. This first year I've traveled for like 8 years. And it was quite nice, to be honest with you. The border was fucking stupid. I got stuck in the machine because, you know, you have this like automatic... Why does everything bad happen to me? You know, like the automatic like passport machines now where like you plop it down and it scans it. I got stuck in that and the African woman couldn't figure it out. So the African woman just couldn't figure it out. So I was stuck in there for like a solid like 10 minutes trying to get out this fucking stupid machine.
When you going on Lotus Eaters?
I don't think Carl would want me on. Me and Carl have argued many a time on the timeline. Me and Carl have argued face to face. I met Carl at the Lotus Eaters event and we got into a debate. He said that I'm a child playing politics and then he took all my talking points 2 weeks later. So who's the child playing politics now, Ben? Benjamin? Carl Benjamin? Who's the child playing politics? Sorry, Carl Benjamin. What happened to that 20% sounds reasonable in Makerfield? What was that? Oh, who got Makerfield right? Oh. So what was that? What was that about 20% in Makerfield sounds reasonable? Who was the one said they'd get less than 10% and they would severely underperform? Oh, what was that, Carl Benjamin? Didn't you tweet that nationalism is just the branch of tribalism? Oh, I wonder who told you that. I wonder where you got that from. I wonder where you got that from. After our massive debate, where you were spurging at me on the timeline at 1 a.m. I will await my apology form, Benjamin. I will await my apology form, Carl. All right? Child playing politics. Well, listen, if you're losing to a child, fucking hell, retire, mate. So, wipe your phone. Listen, I know how this business works, all right? I know how this business works. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. All right, let's just stop talking about Dua Lipa. I'm going to end the stream now. You've just pissed me off. I'm not even dealing with Dua Lipa tonight. Just stop. Just stop with the Dua Lipa shit. I swear to fuck. I'm sick to death of Dua Lipa. I don't know who's messaging me right now as Dua Lipa on Twitter. Fuck you. Stop with the Dua Lipa. Every fucking week. Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa. I'm going to Dua Lipa off a fucking building if you do it in time. Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa. Stop, just stop, just stop, just stop. Just stop. By Dua Lipa off a building, I mean, I'm going to do a leap off a building. No, I'm going to, you know, that wasn't a threat. Just, that was a play on words. Okay. I'm going to end the stream there. I'm going. I can't even be fucking arsed, you people. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's a Monday night. I'm tired. And now look. Cool your boots, man. Do you know who you're talking to? All right. Do you know who you're fucking talking to? Anyway. All right, that's enough. I'm going. Fuck you, Kieran. I'm not even saying goodbye. Like, hit notification bell, subscribe, all different platforms. Hugh Anthony. I'm pissed off. Shop, prioritisebritain.shop/shop. First link in description. See you tomorrow. Fuck you.